Hello, and welcome to ClinkCast, brought to you by Clink IT Solutions. We are a Microsoft partner and software services company, and a collection of some of the most talented software engineers and IT whizzes on the planet. We offer cloud solutions, software engineering, and all other kinds of IT magic. Our customers include, if you've heard of the Crowds line, Gusto, or I don't know, a little thing called HP. So the topic for today is something we like to call Microsoft's Enterprise Mobility Suite. And this answers the question of how do I get my employees to bring their own devices to work? Because we all know that a good employee is one that is happy, one that is comfortable working on their own device. But the problem there is it opens security risks. They could access sensitive info even outside the workplace, and we don't want that. So, to tell you how Microsoft's Enterprise Mobility Suite works, we're going to have Marjorie. Marjorie is she's an amazing technical consultant, and she's worked on Microsoft Cloud and on-premise. Her projects, they include end-to-end experiences in solution planning, architecture, and deployment. And she is an infrastructure miracle worker. So let's open the floor for Marjorie right now. Say hello.
Hi everyone. So first of all, thank you everyone for joining this session. For today, we're going to talk about Microsoft's Enterprise Mobility Suite. So first thing on the agenda is an introduction of Enterprise Mobility Suite. We'll do a small overview on why you might want to consider EMS as a solution. Then I'll take you into the four main components of EMS, which are Azure AD Premium, Microsoft Intune, Azure Rights Management Service, and Advanced Threat Analytics. So finally, we'll wrap up the session with a quick summary. So with today's technological trends, we're seeing more and more that mobility is becoming the new normal. In fact, a large percentage of employees nowadays work away from their desk even when they are in the office. And the increase of BYOD in the workplace is going to mean a new way of working across applications and data. So what's driving change? There are three main components that we are looking at: devices, applications, and data. We know that the needs of IT are evolving and the needs of the organization are changing as users are becoming more mobile. So users nowadays are using more devices and using more applications in the cloud. As more applications move to the cloud and more data moves to the cloud, the traditional ways of protecting enterprise resources are just irrelevant. So traditional products built perimeters around the enterprise, but since data are moving to the cloud, the perimeter just becomes ineffective. So now you have to rethink, how do you enable your users while protecting corporate data? Here is where the Enterprise Mobility Suite comes into play. In comparison to other solutions out there, EMS offers the most comprehensive and most integrated solution for enabling enterprise mobility. EMS is composed of four main components. First is Identity and Access Management enabled by Microsoft Azure Active Directory Premium. This provides you with the capability to use a single user credential to access thousands and thousands of SaaS applications. It also comes with a portal which allows your users to perform self-service password resets and group delegation. Second is Device and Application Management enabled by Microsoft Intune. So if you want to restrict device behavior, for example, enforcing a device PIN or encryption, or if you want to restrict copy-pasting of information between mobile applications. Third is Information Protection, enabled by Microsoft Azure Rights Management. So RMS allows you to restrict access to corporate files. This allows you to view not only who has accessed your files, but also who tried to access it and was denied. RMS also allows you to put expiration dates on the documents that you want to share. Last is Behavior-Based Threat Analytics, enabled by Advanced Threat Analytics. So ATA helps you identify breaches and threats using behavioral analysis and provides a clear actionable report on a simple attack timeline. So for the rest of our session today, we will be taking a closer look at the four components of EMS. So first we are going to talk about Azure AD Premium for identity management. Identity is not just a nice to have feature, but it's actually at the core of an efficient workforce. So in most environments today, users need access to different applications, whether hosted on-premises or in the cloud. The more applications you use, the more credentials you have to manage, one for each application. And when those applications require you to change your passwords every 30 days, it just gets confusing. So I'm sure there are still a lot of users who are guilty of writing down their passwords in post-its or sticky notes just so they don't forget them. And we really don't want this to happen as this entails security risks. So what if someone takes a picture of your post-its and gets hold of all your passwords? So with Azure AD Premium, you can synchronize users' on-premises identity with Azure AD to create a single user identity across cloud and on-premises systems. That means the user can now use the same username and password for both cloud and on-premises applications. You can also use the same credentials to sign in to third-party software as a service applications as well. So there are thousands of SaaS applications that are available in the Azure Application Gallery, which you can add to your environment. There's your familiar Microsoft Office applications, as well as third-party apps such as SAP, Salesforce, and even Facebook and Twitter. Once you add them, you can simply use your Azure AD credentials to log into these systems. So now that we have a single identity for all our applications, what happens then if a user forgets his or her password? In most cases today, a user usually raises a ticket to help desk or IT. Then IT logs into the system and resets the user password. The whole process could take from minutes to days depending on the availability of IT. With Azure AD Premium, users won't have to bother their IT or help desk for a simple password reset. Users can simply go to a portal and reset their passwords on their own. Just imagine the amount of help desk calls this will reduce, leaving your IT team to focus on with more important tasks. So just to show you a quick demo, to reset your password, you will need to go to a URL. So in this case, it's passwordreset.microsoftonline.com. And all you have to do is provide your email address and a CAPTCHA code, and then click Next. So as an administrator, your IT will have the option to choose if you want your users to provide one or two verification methods before they can reset their passwords. As you can see in the screenshot, in this case, we need to provide two verification codes. This can be in the form of an alternate email address or mobile phone. For the first step, I can choose to verify using my mobile phone. For the second step, I can provide verification code from my alternate email address. So once I have proven my identity, then I can just go ahead and provide a new password. It's that simple. The self-service password reset feature not only saves the time of your users, but more importantly, your help desk and IT. Azure AD Premium also gives IT some critical tools to make sure only the people who are supposed to be accessing the systems are doing so. Multi-factor authentication can help mitigate the impact of leaked passwords by adding a layer of security to passwords. Aside from providing the typical AD credentials, users can be challenged to provide additional authentication. Just like in some of the banking applications that we have, you can be asked to authenticate via a mobile application, a phone call, or a one-time PIN sent via text message. For example, you successfully log in to your company portal via your AD username and password. If you have chosen to enable mobile app notification, it will send a notification to your mobile phone, which you have to accept. In case you left your mobile phone at home, you can click on the Use a Different Verification option. And just choose whether you want a callback, a text, etc. So this is a great tool not only to secure your access, but also to know if your identity has been compromised. For example, you didn't log into any application, and your mobile phone suddenly sent you a notification. That means that your AD credentials has already been compromised. So what you can do is to quickly alert your IT admin to temporarily block your account. Next we have is delegated group management. So what this does is it allows your IT team to delegate group management down to users. Instead of users constantly having to ask the IT admin to add or remove members to a group, users can now do it on their own. The last part for Azure AD Premium that we're going to talk about is its advanced security reporting. So what happens when an unauthorized person gains access to a user's credential and tries to access corporate resources? Azure AD Premium has a built-in security reporting feature that can detect suspicious activities. Once it detects an abnormal user behavior, it can send an alert to the IT admin, and the IT admin can then block access to that user. So you can view different built-in reports such as sign-ins after multiple failures, sign-ins from multiple geographies, irregular sign-in activities, etc. Let's take a quick look at the sign-ins from multiple geographies. So on the second row of the report, we can see that the admin's first sign-in is from Washington, US, and second sign-in is from Makati, Philippines. And what Azure does is it analyzes the time between both sign-ins. It reports that the sign-in time between both sign-ins is just 11 minutes, whereas estimated travel time between those two locations is actually 17 hours. So with Azure AD Premium Security Reporting, you're not only presented with a simple audit report, but you can also view potential threats and advanced analytics on device access and application usage. So identity is the first part of empowering enterprise mobility. But once you have your user identity in place, you can focus on making them productive on the devices they use to get their work done. So most companies have solid solutions for corporately owned PCs, but mobile devices and non-domain joined PCs have brought new challenges. With Microsoft Intune, you can provide employees with access to corporate applications, data and resources from anywhere on almost any device while helping to keep corporate information secure. Enrollment and registration is made simplified. Whether you are using iOS, Android, or Windows Phone, all you have to do is download the company portal application from the Play Store or Google Play and follow the on-screen instructions. Once enrolled, IT can enforce device and application management policies across all devices. So with Intune, IT admins can apply and enforce device configuration settings across multiple platforms, whether it be iOS, Android, and Windows. With MDM, you can push policies such as enforcement of device pins, encryption, usage of camera or external storage, etc. You can also manage settings for Windows 10 PCs such as firewall updates. This also allows users to initiate a remote support ticket to IT. In case there's a problem or issue with a user machine, they can just go to the portal and raise a ticket, and your IT admin will be able to assist and take control of the problematic machine in an instant. You can also collect hardware and software inventory data for reporting. So if we look at the newly enrolled device, which is now compliant and ready to go, we can see that the user has his managed corporate applications, such as Outlook, Word, and PowerPoint. And he also has his personal applications that he uses outside of work. Now, what if you have an application that you use for both work and personal use, such as Microsoft Word? With the multi-identity management feature of Intune, you enable users to access the same mobile application for both their personal and work accounts, while only applying the corporate policies to their work account. This provides a seamless experience while employees are on the go. By applying policies at the app level, our IT can support mobile productivity while maintaining user preferences, and still have the ability to protect corporate data and resources. You can extend these same management capabilities with your existing line of business applications using the Intune app wrapping tool. Let's now take a closer look at how app-level policies can help keep company data and information secure. So for example, a user receives a work email through her managed Outlook account with an attached Excel file. Our user opens the attachment in her Excel mobile application. She then wants to copy the information from the spreadsheet. When she tries to paste it into her personal notepad, it doesn't work, because the personal notepad is not a managed app, and our IT Pro has applied policies to restrict copy-pasting functions to only apps that are part of the managed app ecosystem. So our user opens her Microsoft Word, which is managed by Intune, and she's able to paste her information. The same goes with saving a file. If a user tries to save the file in her personal OneDrive account, it won't work. But if she tries to save it in her OneDrive for Business account, then it will proceed. By using the mobile application management capabilities of Intune, IT can help prevent leakage of important company data and make sure that this information doesn't get into the wrong hands. Another important functionality is the ability of Intune to deploy email profiles to the enrolled devices. This enables users to quickly get access to their corporate email without any manual configuration. This also applies if you have Wi-Fi or VPN profiles that you want to deploy. Users won't have to know the details of your servers, etc. All they need to provide is their user credentials. Next is selective wipe. So using the Intune Company portal, the user can selectively wipe corporate applications and data from their enrolled devices at any time. And in the event that your device is lost or stolen, you can completely wipe the device from the same company portal. The self-service option can save time, frustration, and worry and IT resources. Nevertheless, the IT can also perform a full or selective wipe of an enrolled device using the admin console of Intune. So we've covered off user identity and mobile device and application management. But perhaps the reason that the two previous topics are so important is because it is users accessing data on the devices that causes risk to the business. So data getting into the wrong hands can be very costly and could potentially damage your business. As part of our users' daily work, users share information by using email, file sharing sites, and cloud services. In this scenario, traditional security controls such as access control lists and firewalls have limited effectiveness if you want to protect your company data while still empowering your users to work efficiently. With RMS, you can securely share any file type on almost any platform inside or outside of your organization, and you won't have to worry about privacy. When you encrypt a file using Azure RMS, you retain exclusive access to your data. In this example, even if Bob forwards your email to an unauthorized person, he won't be able to access your files. So for example, you have users who accidentally sends out a confidential file to a wrong user. You can have RMS templates applied, which will automatically prevent unauthorized users from viewing the document content. A recipient without proper rights will be presented with an error message. On the other hand, a user with appropriate permissions will be able to view the email content and all its attachments. So you can choose to have automatic application of RMS templates or allow your users to manually apply them using Outlook or a web browser. You can have one template each for your IT department or maybe your HR team, finance team, etc. With RMS, you can also restrict the ability to open, modify, print, or forward documents. You can also set expiration dates for how long users will be able to open your shared files. So even though the documents are already stored in a local drives of the recipients, they won't be able to open the file once it is past its expiration date. Lastly, RMS includes a tracking application which shows you who viewed the document and who tried to access the document and from what location. So you're not only allowed to view who has access to your documents, but you can also see that there are already, for example, 69 users who tried to open the document without proper permission. So the last component of EMS is Microsoft's Advanced Threat Analytics. Today, 75% of all network intrusions are due to compromised credentials. ATA is built into the Enterprise Mobility Suite and is a security threat analysis tool that identifies suspicious user and device activity. ATA is an on-premises solution to identify advanced security attacks before they cause damage. So to explain the concept on a high level, most of us are credit card holders. If, for example, you often use your credit card for shopping here in the Philippines, and you suddenly make a transaction somewhere in Singapore, some credit card companies will call you and ask you whether you are really traveling. So if it is not you, they will immediately block the transaction and your card for further use. Microsoft Advanced Threat Analytics is bringing this concept in a more advanced way to the employees, vendors, and IT departments of organizations. ATA is an on-premise platform helping IT to protect their enterprise from the advanced attacks by automatically analyzing, learning, and identifying normal and abnormal behavior. So how does this work? So Microsoft Advanced Threat Analytics work around the clock to help IT pinpoint suspicious activities by profiling and knowing exactly what to look for. Using its algorithm, ATA surfaces suspicious activity you may never have recognized and brings them to your attention quickly. So you don't have to create rules or you don't have to fine-tune or monitor a flood or security report since the intelligence needed is built in. ATA doesn't just identify questionable activities in the system. It also identifies known advanced attacks and security issues. ATA continuously learns from the behavior of organizational entities, whether it be users, devices, and resources, and adjusts itself to reflect the changes in your rapidly evolving enterprise. So as attackers' tactics gets more sophisticated, Microsoft ATA helps you adapt to the changing nature of cybersecurity attacks with continuously learning behavioral analytics. IT and security teams are overwhelmed with the constant reporting of traditional security tools, and the task of sifting through them to locate the important and relevant attacks, many go undetected in all of the noise. So the attack timeline is a clear, efficient, and convenient feed that surfaces the right things on the timeline, giving you the power or perspective on the who, what, when, and how of the enterprise. Lastly, traditional IT security tools are often not equipped to handle the sheer volume of data, turning up unnecessary red flags and distracting you from real threats. With Microsoft ATA, these alerts only happen once suspicious activities are contextually aggregated. So Microsoft ATA will also automatically guide you through the process, asking you simple questions to adjust the detection process according to your input. So for each suspicious activity, ATA provides recommendations for investigation and remediation. So some key features to mention for ATA is its mobility support. So no matter where your corporate resources reside, within the corporate perimeter, on mobile devices, or elsewhere, ATA witnesses authentication and authorization. This means that external assets like devices and vendors are as closely monitored as internal assets. Second is its integration to SIEM. So ATA works seamlessly with your SIEM after contextually aggregating information into the attack timeline. It can collect specific events that are forwarded to ATA from the SIEM. Also, you can configure ATA to send an event to your SIEM for each suspicious activity with a link to the specified event on the attack timeline. Third and last is its seamless deployment. So ATA functions as an appliance, either hardware or virtual. It utilizes port mirroring to allow seamless deployment alongside Active Directory without affecting existing network topology. So you don't have to install any agents on the domain controllers, servers, or computers. So to recap, empowering enterprise mobility isn't just about managing devices. It isn't just about identity or data protection. It's a unified, people-centric approach that spans identity, devices, applications, and data to ensure that users are as productive as possible, data is protected, and cost and complexity is reduced. So we believe that by selecting a single vendor who can deliver an end-to-end solution to enable your enterprise mobility strategy makes sense not only for your users but also for IT and for your business. So we now open the floor for any questions that you may have.